Suicide is a topic that's been taboo for many years, but now experts are saying that we need to start talking about this. In fact, some describe it as an epidemic that's taking a toll on the Black community, and they say that COVID is only making it worse. BNC correspondent Walter Morris explains why.
He enjoyed music and skateboards. He was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Jamal Clay was known as a good kid and a natural leader who cared deeply for others. He's been gone for more than a year now, and understandably, his mother, Rafia Maxey, says she misses him every day.
The responsibility of a mother, he made such an enjoyable thing. I was so honored to be his mother because he was so easy to love and was so wanting to be a right hand at many times in my life.
September, Jamal would have turned 21. He took his own life in May 2020 at the age of 19. Months later, his mother, who's a licensed social worker in Chicago, is still trying to make sense of the tragedy.
It's almost equivalent to a roller coaster. It's hard because you don't know if you should say I have two children or one. When I speak of him, I feel that he is still, in presence, and I wear him every single day and will.
Quiet as it's kept, unfortunately, stories like Jamal's are more common than you might think, and experts say suicides in Black and brown communities are climbing at alarming rates.
This is an immediate and urgent issue for our community. We have to be comfortable talking about suicide. We have to intervene. Our kids are dying daily, and something has to be done.
Dr. Sonia Richardson specializes in Black mental health and suicide prevention. She says the suicide rates in communities of color have been increasing for decades, but the pandemic has made the problem worse.
In your white communities, there's actually been some decrease in suicidality. But in the communities of color, they're finding that sometimes those rates of suicide are twice the rates as they were pre-COVID. And so those rates, even among our communities, are being exacerbated as a result of COVID. And so the pandemic, with its increase in isolation, increase in physical health symptoms, mental health symptoms, is only impacting our communities even more.
Richardson says that's just the tip of the iceberg when considering why suicide rates in Black and brown communities are climbing.
Researchers are noticing in the suicide research that discrimination, experiences of discrimination and perceived discrimination are some factors that contribute or increase risk for suicide.
And this is a nationwide problem. Just to give you some perspective, here at D.D. Hirsch Mental Health Services in Los Angeles, so far this year, their crisis line is on track to receive 2,000 calls from Black youth alone, ages 15 to 24 years old.
The rates of suicide for youth for 10 to 24 years old in California are the highest for Black youth than any other racial background. What we do know is that amongst Black youth, the calls and people in crisis keep skewing younger and younger. I mean, if you can believe it, suicide is the second leading cause of death for Black children 10 to 14 years old.
But there is hope. Here at D.D. Hirsch, they offer services for the entire family. They encourage anyone who's concerned about a loved one to reach out. And experts say if you are worried about someone, the best place to start is with a conversation.
Ask the person, are you okay? Have you had thoughts of harming yourself? It's okay to ask. So we first have to ask the question.
As for Maxey, she's turning her pain into purpose.
And how sensitive this subject is, and people still want to know, but then want to stay away from it enough.
She started the nonprofit Soul Survivors of Chicago, championing mental health awareness through the sole of every shoe to keep Jamal's name alive.
And I said, wouldn't it be great if I can give his shoe away to someone gifted, with the understanding that you're getting a shoe of someone who will not be able to have their first date or their first jump shot, or maybe even meet their new wife or husband.
So far, they've partnered with several organizations to help the formerly incarcerated. They've released multiple PSAs and a documentary about suicide prevention and offer financial support for those impacted by suicide and violence. Maxey says nothing will fill the void of losing her son, but she hopes her work will help other mothers avoid what she went through.
He was someone I wanted to see and had so many plans and expectations for. And I love him with every being of my soul.
Walter Morris for BNC.
Joining us now to take a closer look at the problem and potential solutions is behavioral health consultant Beth Henson. Thanks so much for being with us, Beth. Let's go over some of these things. Racism, sexism, the coronavirus pandemic, all of these things happening all right now in society, contributing to the struggle of being Black in America. Some even suffering from various forms of PTSD because of the weight of what's happening in society. Beth, what do you think about these increasing suicide rates in the Black community?
I think that one of the most impactful things I just heard from the story that sort of leads into your question is that it's the second leading cause of death in children 10 to 14. I think also 15 to 19 as well. Second leading cause of our children's death. I want that to resonate.
Yeah, let's talk on that. Let's speak about that, because that's important. That, and also men seem to be more affected than women. Let's start with children, babies. These are babies, in my opinion.
These are babies.
Why
10 years old.
Why are these babies thinking of this?
One of the things that I'm reading and that we're learning is with COVID, we're seeing a shift in an increase in mortality across the board, especially for African Americans and people of color. And so the numbers started to increase. We saw the rates start to go up in 2017, and they've continued to increase for our populations. Now, suicide is terrible for all populations, but especially for our populations. I think there may be a correlation for children, as you say, babies. Let's take a look at social media. Let's think about the impact of Instagram and some of these, no offense to Instagram per se, but there are studies now that are coming forward, Facebook, Instagram, and other social media platforms, and that ability to have that hatred come live and direct to your hand. Think of the impact. Also, statistics say, and there's a report, that Black children receive at least, on an average, 5 racially motivated negative messages per day. Think of the impact of that. Tremendous.
Yeah, you're right, and especially when these kids are on social media, absolutely, they're getting all kinds of messages that you don't want them dealing with. So what about men, Beth? They're also more affected than women, and typically you're not going to think that a man is affected the way a 14-year-old girl is who's scrolling on Instagram. Why are Black men feeling this pressure?
Their counterparts, white men, have the highest rate, tremendously high rates in white men. Black men are also on an increase. Why is that? I think we know some of the reasons. They deal with racism, access to mental health care in our communities of color. Black people and Black men and Black women, Black folks, tend to want to be seen by Black providers. We generally feel more comfortable when we are opening up and trying to resolve trauma and other issues. Black men, we know, are at the bottom of the totem pole in many instances socioeconomically, and they deal with more overt forms of racism. They are often targeted in public and in other arenas, and it is impacting them. And that feeling of hopelessness, that feeling of disconnection, that feeling of being at the end of your rope is affecting our brothers.
Beth, I want to go over real quick some of the signs that might mean someone might need help that you should look out for. Things like them talking about killing themselves, or talking about hopelessness, unbearable trauma, or being a burden to others. Talk about what we need to look for in our friends and family that we might be concerned about, these warning signs.
These are wonderful cues here. Most of the literature, the Surgeon General's call for us to pay attention to suicide in 1999 the new Surgeon General's call in 2021 for us to be at alarm about suicide. These are some of the things that we can do. Conversations, really tuning in and paying attention to people maybe who have fallen off your radar. They could be in your home, but often you're able to sense a change in someone's mood, like your mood changes throughout the day. If you're noticing depressed mood, a lack of social interaction, someone withdrawing that is normally very active, things like that, those are things to look for. And when you see them, don't be afraid to have the conversation. Ask, how are you feeling? What's going on? What's new? And if you pick up on something, you should encourage the person to take the next step and to go to care. And if that's an emergency room,
advice.
Do that. Don't wait. This is Suicide Prevention Month, and especially in our communities of color, with our Black children, our Black men, and our Black women, it is especially crucial that we use this opportunity to really tune into each other and take very good care of each other and be mindful.
Beth, I hope anybody who needs that help is getting it and hearing your words, and if there's people who can help others, that they've heard your words. Thank you so much for joining us today, Beth. We appreciate your time here.